What if I told you that your bank account, your monthly income, your profession, your skill, and your knowledge has absolutely nothing to do with your wealth and your prosperity and your ability to hold and generate more money? That which determines your experience of money and your experience of prosperity is your self-image and your beliefs surrounding money. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you with very clear examples of what I'm talking about. And you can examine yourself to see how you are in terms of the self-image that you have in regards to money and in regards to wealth. Let me give you some very clear examples of what I'm talking about. I live here in Colombia, South America. I am retired. I am a retired psychologist, and I live a very comfortable, peaceful, and happy life here in Colombia. And I walk the streets in my neighborhood on a daily basis, and I love to see the merchants selling their fruit, their goods, their domestic products and electronics and all of the other things that you see as you go walking down the street in the main sectors of the city. So there's not a time when I'm walking down the street that a person who is in need will come up to me and ask me, can you please help me with any little coin, anything? Can you please help me? And what I do in this situation is this. I go into my pocket. I grab a fistful of coins and dollar bills, Colombian dollar bills, pull them out, open my hand, and extend it to the person who's asking me for just a little coin. And I say to that person, here, take everything that you want. Take any and everything that you see in my hand right now. And what do you believe that usually happens? The person opens their eyes in disbelief, throws their hands up slightly, almost trembling, and says, oh, no, I can't just take your money like that. I don't want to rob anybody. You give me what you think I deserve. And I respond, no, with my hand still extended with all of that money and coins and dollar bills in the palm of my hand, extended out to the person. I say, no, I'm not going to choose for you. You either choose all that you want, that you see here in my hand, or I close my hand and I walk away and you get nothing. Usually, in this moment, the person hesitates and begins to think, and then exceeds and says, oh, okay, I'll take something. So, with their hands trembling, they extend outward and grab, usually, you won't believe this, they will usually grab 1 or 2 coins, and that's it, leaving 90% of the money still in my hands. And I usually say to them, I said, wow, if I were you, I would have taken everything. Oh, no, thank you so much. I really appreciate you helping me out. God bless you. Now, I ask you, why did not this person take everything that they saw in my hands? Because I said, take everything that you see. The reason is their self-image was limited. Their self-image does not allow them to go beyond their, what I like to call, money comfort zone. If this beggar has a money comfort zone, a self-image of believing that he or she does not deserve beyond a certain amount of money in their life, even though this money will be offered to the person freely, they can't take it because their self-image, their self-belief will not allow them to accept something that doesn't feel comfortable. Therefore, even though that person will say, yes, I want to be relieved of my situation, their self-image and their self-belief tells them something else. Their self-image and their self-belief says, you don't deserve more. And that's where they stay. Let me give you another example to illustrate this point of self-image and self-belief of worthiness. When I just got out of college in the university, graduating in psychology, I was about 25 years old, and my first apartment I was obtaining was to be in Los Angeles, California. So I arrived and I'm looking for an apartment in this not so good neighborhood, but I didn't have a lot of money at that time, so I wasn't too picky. So the manager allows me to go into one of the apartments that happens to be available. And as we walk into the bedroom, we suddenly hear breathing. And I look at him and I say, what's that? He says, I don't know. Then suddenly, we look down on the floor and we see a young man curled up on the floor, sleeping in a fetal position, fast asleep. And so I look at the manager and say, what's this? And he looks at me puzzled, and then he kicks the young man and says, hey, you, what are you doing here? The young man wakes up, startled, frightened. Oh, please, don't call the police on me. I was just trying to get a night's sleep. How did you get in here? Through that open window from the alley. Get out of here. Oh, okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for not calling the police. And he leaves. So the manager turns back to me and says, well, would you like me to show you another apartment? And I said, no, thank you. I don't think I want to live in this building. But why do I give this example? I give this example because this young man crawled up through the open window, got into the bedroom, lied down on the floor to sleep there all night. But this is the interesting part of this story. Right next to him, as he was sleeping on the floor, was a well-made, clean, fresh, comfortable bed with fresh sheets, pillows, and covers where he could have slept comfortably all night, but he chose not to. He chose. Nobody was there to see him or to tell him no, but he chose to sleep on the floor. Why, I ask you? Why? Because his self-image, his self-belief told him, you are not worthy to sleep in a clean and comfortable bed. You are only worthy to sleep on the floor. Even though no one was there to stop him, his self-concept, his auto-concept, his self-belief forced him to sleep on the floor. That is the power, the limiting power of your self-image. I have another example to illustrate this. Here in Columbia, where I live, I walk down the street and I have seen on many occasions, in fact, she's still out there, I imagine, this young lady, probably in her 20s, maybe 23, 24, who's dressed up as a clown, and she stands in the intersections where the cars pass, and she juggles balls in the air, and she has her 2-year-old baby strapped to her back as she does this for hours. So she's juggling balls in the air, dressed as a clown, so that just before the cars pass the intersection, she goes by the windows of the drivers asking for them to give her some contribution or some money for her performances. Now, I saw her doing this day after day after day, and I kind of felt a little sorry for the baby because here's a 2-year-old who's strapped to his mother's back for hours at a time. The baby doesn't have a regular childhood in like a kindergarten type situation where he can run around and be with other kids, laughing, screaming, and doing all the other things that kids normally do. He was spending his youth, his baby youth, on the back of his mother as she was juggling the balls in the air, trying to get some coins and money from the passengers who would pass her by after she gave her performance in the intersections. So there was a time that I was going to open up a party balloon store here in Colombia because I did this in the United States for quite a while. So I approached the young lady and I said, look, I'm about to open a balloon and party store, and I know that you have a flair for entertainment. I'd like to employ you to work for me in my store. It will be a fixed salary, something that you can count on, and you would probably, I'm sure, be making much more than you are standing here in the intersection juggling. This is something that would allow you not to have to be here in the street every day with your baby. You'd have a regular full-time job. So you can meet with me. There's a bakery 2 or 3 blocks from here. You know where it is, don't you? She nods, yes. Okay, meet me there tomorrow at 2 and we'll talk about your starting. Okay, what do you think happened? She didn't show up for the interview, nor did she call me to cancel, nor did she give me any reason why she didn't arrive. A few days later, I just see her again at the intersection, juggling the balls in the air, hoping that a few drivers of the cars would give her some money to help her out. Why did she not take advantage of an opportunity for a full-time job that would allow her to live better with her baby and not have to be on the street corners begging for money after juggling? I'll tell you why. It's because her self-image was limited to believing that this is all she deserved. Her self-belief said, this is the level of money that you deserve, and you do not deserve anything better. Therefore, any opportunity that comes your way to offer you to rise higher and better has to be rejected because your confines are only within the self-image that you have right now. That is why she did not go to the job. You see, all of us have, consciously or unconsciously, what I like to call a money comfort zone. And this money comfort zone is unconscious, but it is a level of money that when this level of money comes to you, you feel if it's beyond. What I'm trying to say is, when a certain amount of money comes to you that is beyond your money comfort zone, you will become very uncomfortable, nervous, and want to get rid of the money to come back down to where your money comfort zone is. That is, if you have a money comfort zone for a certain amount of money that you feel that you deserve to have at any given time, and if you get a larger sum beyond that, suddenly your immediate impulse is to spend that money, and you do it unconsciously to bring yourself back down to the level where you feel comfortable about money. You see, you can't give money to a person who does not have the mentality and the readiness to receive it. A person must feel that they deserve to have money in order to receive it and to keep it, even if the money is given to that person. They can't hold on to it. That's why people who earn millions suddenly in the lottery, it is known that within a few years later, they lose all of the money with excessive travel, impulsive spending, lending money to so-called friends and not too well-known relatives, so that before they realize it, they are back to where they started. I'm going to give you one more example of the money comfort level that a person can have. When I was working in Los Angeles, California, as a psychologist and social worker, I had a colleague of mine by the name of Lisa. And I mentioned to Lisa one day, I said, Lisa, you know what I have the habit of doing? I always keep folded in my wallet $100. Not to spend, just for the feeling of prosperity, because I know that money attracts money. So just in having the feeling of $100 at all times, even though I have no intention of spending it, it gives me a feeling of prosperity, and I always find myself having access to money. Her response was, $100? Huh. If I had $100 in my purse, I'd spend it. Now, what did she just say? She just said that her self-concept of money, her self-belief of money in regards to herself, was that she was not worthy to have and to hold money. Money to her was only something to spend and basically to get rid of. So she had what I call a money rejection complex. And I want to ask a question before I end this session today. I want to ask you the question, what is money for you? Let me ask you that again. What is money for you? Now, depending on how you answer that question will tell me what your self-concept, what your self-belief about money is. If I ask you the question, what is money? And you give me the answer, money is an opportunity to save and invest and to prudently spend what's left. That is one self-concept of money that will produce, hold, and keep money. I ask another person, what is money for you? And that person says, money is to pay my bills and my debts and to spend whatever is left after paying out all of my money on my debts. This person has the idea that money is only to pay debts, and whatever could be left is to spend on him or herself. This is also a limited self-belief, self-concept of money, which will produce a different experience than the first person. And let's take another example. I asked the third person, what is money? What is money for you? And that person says, money is to enjoy and to live life to the fullest. So this concept of money for that person, their self-concept, their self-image of money is that money is only to use and to spend and to enjoy. So their concept of money is one of impulse, and that is also a money rejection complex. You see, the thing is that you cannot change your situation about money until you change your attitude about money, until you change your attitude of worthiness for yourself about money. So that once you begin to understand that money has to be respected, saved, invested, and controlled without impulse is the self-concept that will allow you to prosper. You know, it's kind of funny. Intuitively, I can't prove this, but it's sort of like money has its own consciousness. Money is almost like a living type of entity, something in the relationship of, say, a man to a woman, that if a man only has a woman to use her up and then forget about her until the next time, the woman, of course, won't have very much to do with this man. In a like sense, treating money in the same way gets the same reaction. If you treat money that it doesn't matter, you become impulsive about money, you spend it up, and don't have any respect for it in the sense of saving it, investing it, being disciplined about it, money will never stay with you in the same manner. So the idea is that you must adopt the idea that one, you deserve to have money. Two, that money is to be respected, controlled, saved, invested, and done in a way that is disciplined to create more money and more wealth in your life. It's an attitude of control. You first have to control yourself in order to be able to control money. That you feel that you deserve to have it. Not only you feel that you deserve to have it, you feel honored to have the opportunity to save it, invest it, increase it, and enjoy it in a disciplined way. This is what creates prosperity, because it is the attitude that attracts money. So, in summary, I ask that you examine what is your belief about money? How do you feel about money? Do you feel that money is right for you? Or do you feel that money is something that you must get rid of and spend as soon as you get it? Once you understand that prosperity is yours the minute you accept it and believe that you deserve it, your behavior surrounding this self-image will cause you to control yourself, control money, discipline yourself, invest properly, save properly, and enjoy a life that continues to become more and more prosperous. All right, I hope you got the message for this. Your self-concept, your self-belief surrounding money is that which controls your prosperity. Okay, this is yours truly, Charles Prosper, your consistency success coach, wishing you, as always, to remain consistent and be successful.